A damn black being a cop don't make me laugh. You're just a monkey in a suit. Officer Leonard Croft scoffed at the new black police officer, unaware of who was listening. Who left this here Sergeant Silas Vance? A white officer with an arrogant demeanor roared, lifting a bulletproof vest from the locker room bench and tossing it to the floor as if it were contaminated. It's mine, Sergeant, replied Officer Julian Hayes, the new and only black officer in that precinct. Vance looked him up and down with disgust. Of course it's yours. Only black people come to dirty this place like it's their home, he said, raising his voice. This is a police station, not your damn rat-infested neighborhood. Several officers exchanged awkward glances. Others simply looked away. Julian continued checking his gear, refusing to take the bait. Aren't you going to answer me? Black boy Vance taunted. Or did you leave your spine in the wrong locker? Julian inhaled deeply. I'm doing my job just like you, he said quietly. Croft stepped closer. Just like me, no monkey. Your decoration, a diversity sticker with a badge. His words sliced through the room, meant to wound. You think you're one of us? You're a joke. He turned to the others. Tell me, would any of you trust this clown on a raid? No one answered. The silence was heavier than the insults. Vance leaned in again. You're not here because you're good. You're here because the city wants to look pretty. When bullets start flying, you'll die alone. Then he spat on Julian's boots. Laughter echoed. What none of them noticed was the figure behind the tinted control room glass, watching everything without blinking. Julian bent down to wipe the spit, not out of submission but to stop himself from reacting. Croft sneered. Good boy. Clean it up. Julian slowly straightened. Enough, Croft. Croft shoved him against the locker's metal, echoing. You don't decide anything. Black boy Julian tried to pull away. Let me go. I'm not doing anything exactly. Croft hissed nothing. He pressed harder, showing off his strength. Some officers hesitated nearby but did nothing. Look at you, Croft said, grinning. Not even defending yourself? I expected more from your kind. He grabbed Julian's badge and held it up. This belonged to you, or did they hand it out with the free coffee? Julian's eyes fixed on the badge, his pride, his hard-earned proof. Give it back, he said. Croft dropped it, then stepped on it. Ask nicely. Julian's fist clenched. I'm asking you on your knees. Julian's heart pounded with humiliation. Croft raised his voice. Look at him. Thinking he's a cop. Who are you fooling, Hayes? Julian kept his gaze down. Breathing slow. You should be behind bars with your own kind. Croft roared. The words struck like a blow. Julian trembled but refused to break. You have no right, he whispered. Croft laughed loudly. Respect isn't given. It's earned. Julian swallowed the rage burning in his throat. He knew if he reacted, his career would be over, and Croft knew it too. You're a mistake in the system. Croft finished at that moment. The back door opened. Julian looked up, startled. A tall man in a dark suit, firm expression and the same skin tone as Julian entered. With slow, controlled steps, Lieutenant Reginald Dalton. His presence shifted the air instantly. He had watched everything from the camera feed. His silence was more dangerous than shouting. Croft, still with his back turned, didn't realize who stood behind him. Officer stiffened. Julian stared at the lieutenant, shock mixing with a flicker of hope he tried to hide. Reginald's eyes were ice cold, locked on Croft with a fury so contained it was terrifying. No one moved, no one breathed. The weight of what was about to happen settled like a storm, forming in the room. Julian straightened slightly. Still shaking, still humiliated, but now aware that the next moment could change everything. And Croft, oblivious, was still crushing the badge under his boot as the silence deepened and Reginald finally took one deliberate step forward. And Julian, seeing him standing there, didn't know whether to feel hope or something worse. The echo of Lieutenant Reginald Dalton's footsteps resonated on the floor. Julian didn't move. His face still showed the raw humiliation, but his eyes now contained something different. It wasn't fear. It wasn't anger. It was attention, as if he were waiting for the inevitable. Croft, still facing away, hadn't noticed anything. He still had adrenaline on his tongue, believing himself to be the owner of the place. Just look at you, all proper, all quiet like a good obedient boy. Is that what they taught you at home? To bow your head so the white folks aren't bothered? Julian clenched his fists. A knot formed in his throat, not because of the words, but because of what was coming. Although, come to think of it, I don't even know if you had a home. Croft turned slightly, speaking louder. With any luck, you had a jail cell or a drug-addicted mother who taught you to steal before you could walk. That's what you are, a statistical error with a badge. And then, as if the whole world froze, a new voice cut through the air. Officer Croft. Croft stiffened. He turned slowly and his arrogance evaporated instantly. Lieutenant Dalton stood there, silent, unmovable, his stare colder than steel. The room shrank around Croft. Sir Lieutenant, I didn't see you, he stammered. The CIC. That's evident. Dalton approached, Each step deliberate. Is this how you represent this department? This language, this conduct? Croft opened his mouth, but no excuse came. Dalton continued. Do you know where the cameras are in this building? Croft swallowed. Do you think anyone will protect you when this goes public? Sweat rolled down Croft's temple. His confidence was gone. Come with me. Dalton ordered. Croft followed, trembling. The hallway felt endless. Officers watched silently as the toxic sergeant walked like a condemned man. Inside Dalton's office, the door closed sharply. I've served here 27 years, Dalton began. I've seen problems, mistakes, bad days, but rarely have I seen anything as shameful as what you did today. Croft tried to speak. Lieutenant, please. I was upset you called a fellow officer trash, a criminal unworthy of his badge. You tried to break him in front of his peers, and you think this is a joke. Croft went pale. Dalton opened a drawer and placed an envelope on the desk. As of this moment, you are terminated. Badge weapon privilege is gone. Croft's breath caught. Lieutenant. My pension, my career lost. Dalton said calmly, the moment you decided racism was leadership. Croft stood frozen as Dalton opened the office door. 2 officers waited to escort him out. He takes only what belongs to him. Croft's walk through the station was slow and humiliating. No applause, no sympathy, just cold indifference. The same men who once laughed at his cruelty now looked away. His fall was complete. Meanwhile, Julian sat alone in the locker room. His hands were still shaking, not from fear but from everything he had held inside. Minutes later, Lieutenant Dalton entered. He sat across from him. I heard everything, Dalton said quietly. What you endured was unacceptable, and it ends today. Julian nodded. His voice trembled slightly. Thank you, sir. Don't thank me. You earned your place here, and you stood your ground with dignity. A week later, the news exploded citywide. Croft dismissed after racist incident caught on video. His name was dragged across headlines. The community condemned him. His family distanced themselves. People he once intimidated now rejected him openly. His legacy was ashes, but at the station. Something else happened one afternoon. Dalton walked to Julian's locker. He handed him an envelope. This came through today, Dalton said. Julian opened it. His breath caught a new badge. A Gold Star promotion approved. Officer Hayes, welcome to the leadership team. Julian didn't speak for several seconds. He felt something heavy lift from his shoulders. Not the memory of what happened, but the weight of proving himself every day in a place built to see him fail. That evening, Julian walked out through the main doors of the precinct. The sky was dimming, the city buzzing with its usual restless life. He stepped outside, stood still for a moment, then kept moving forward. The station behind him wasn't a place of humiliation anymore. It was a place he had survived changed, reshaped by standing tall, and as he walked into the cooling night air, his new badge resting against his chest, Julian Hayes walked taller than he ever had, knowing that justice had been served, not by violence, not by anger, but by truth, courage, and the strength he refused to let anyone take from him.